Today on my first concert.
Yeah, you're busy. Here's the question, though. How the Timberwolves are one of the best teams right now in the National Basketball Association. And for those of us long-suffering Wolves fans or Minnesota sports fans, we don't tend to see this a lot. And hopefully they'll be able to finish it off this year with a championship. How many of your friends or acquaintances are saying, "Hey, any chance you could get me tickets to one of those games?"
Every day, every day, and it's like
From the AquariusHomeServices.com studio, this is Dave Lee along with producer Davide Rosso on this week's show, My First Concert, by the way, available wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, TalkNorth.com, wherever. It's brought to you by StarBank.net and Aquarius Home Services. And today, so great to have DJ Dime join us. She is a talented performer who recently, by the way, performed for the NFL at this year's Superbowl out in Las Vegas. How about that? And we're going to discuss that. DJ, thanks for coming in. Appreciate this time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's go back to your first concert that you ever attended. What was it?
Janet Jackson, Velvet Rope.
Okay, tell me about the show. Do you remember who you went with? And
Well, for me, I'm a huge Janet fan. So I actually wasn't able to see her first concert, which was Rhythm Nation, because I was on punishment. Mm-hmm. So my mom took the tickets from me as my punishment. So I was so hurt. I was probably in 9th grade at the time. And it was just really hard for everyone that went to the concert the next day. Was like, "Oh, I got this Rhythm Nation, this is and I didn't get anything. And I just really didn't believe that my mother would punish me that way, because she had actually bought the tickets, but she took them back as my punishment. So I said, I'll take anything else but that. But so when it came to the Velvet Rope, I was probably, I want to say, either a senior in high school or my first year of college. So I had my own money is what I'm trying to say. So the first thing I did was go buy the ticket, and I just bought one for myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was like, dude, like, I am not missing this. Nobody's telling me nothing. And this is when you had to go, like, I don't know what it was, like Dayton's or something. When you went, they had a ticket area and you go buy it. Yeah. So I went and I stood in the line and I said, look, I'm not missing Janet this time. And that's what happened.
What do you remember about the show?
It was, to me, her best tour. For me, I don't know if it's because it's like the first one I went to, but for me, it was just like awesome to see. It was just, it was like the Victorian era, like how she did it on stage, but she just came out in this really cool, like zoot suit and this top hat. And she just stood there for like maybe 5 minutes and everybody's just going crazy. And I was just like, oh my God, like this production is crazy. You know, I can already tell. And so for me, I mean, then she just hit it. The dancers came out and everything. I'm sorry, not Velvet Rope. It was Janet. It was the Janet tour. Not Velvet Rope, it was the Janet tour. Yeah. So as she came out and it was all white and everything. It was just awesome.
Yeah. And then, I think about that and the impact she made on you, which seems to be quite positive. Do you find that that you now are a mentor to some that are watching you, that are observing you, that are wondering what you're doing and want to be like you?
Yeah, I'm starting to see that a lot now because of my position here at Minneapolis Public Schools and Jazz88. So, being the Associate Educator and going out and helping kids learn the craft of DJing and things like that, I get, even yesterday I was at North High during lunch and people was like, oh, I know you, I heard of you. And, it was just cool to see the kids dancing and wanting to be involved in this. And then also just knowing who I am and or knowing my name and then seeing me in person was cool. So,
Yeah, I would think that'd be a big deal for a lot of people, obviously, a lot of young people who always need that kind of mentor. So you're kind of their Janet Jackson, really, when you think about it. But
I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I hope so. I mean, that would be a great thing, being that I'm from the community. The Northside community is where I'm from, and then I'm able to give back too. That's awesome. So,
but let me ask you now, because you write songs, you're a performer, you're a arranger, you're a music producer. I mean, the DJ thing has been hugely successful.
yes.
What was it that inspired you to go out to New York to learn the craft?
Well, at the time, I'm just one of those people that I take anything that I put my mind to, I take very seriously. So, like, if you tell me, oh, you're going to be an actor, or I want to be an actor, I'm going to take it seriously. I'm not like, oh, I'm just going to be an actor. You know what I mean? So I want to learn the craft. So for me, when I decided to be a DJ, I really wanted to learn the craft and learn from the best, from the most basic. So at the time, there was only one school in the whole country, which was Jam Master Jay's school, Scratch DJ Academy in Manhattan. And that's Jam Master Jay is the late DJ from Run DMC. Yeah. And so he had a college for DJs, and people thought it was so crazy. And I'm like, wow. So I started looking at the curriculum and what you learn and everything like that. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. Like, just for, to get into it, I want to learn from the best. So that's what I did. And I flew out there and did it. But at the same time, like, New York was my second home at that time, because I had a career as a rapper. So everything that kind of happened for me, like, I was familiar with New York and being there and kind of like just adapting to being a New Yorker, kind of. So it wasn't like real foreign for me to go out there to do that. So
yeah, it's not that
and it worked out well.
Yeah.
Any different than, me going back to a music and audio production school in town and actually learning from people that have been in the industry, and not just like, doing it at church or in their bedrooms, or, kind of, and call themselves music producers. No, you actually learn from people that have been in the industry for a very long time and actually have seen all the change that went through. Because even for you, like DJing, you go from turntables to it's all digital now.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But you learned on vinyl, didn't you?
Yeah, I learned on vinyl, but that was by choice. Because when I started, like Serato, which is the DJ software, and everything was just coming out. The digital software was coming out with the boards, the controllers. And I was like, and they were like trying to get me to learn that way. They're like, it's going towards this. You should learn this. And I'm like, no, I want to learn on vinyl. Like, so I feel like once I learn the basics, like the real start and the basics, anything else is going to be easy for me at that point. So I had actual real records, real turntables, the Technics 1200s, and just a two-way mixer, no fancy mixer or anything. And I said, yes, that's what I want to do. So what I did was do private lessons, because, I lived here in Minneapolis. So I just wanted to do like a straight 3-4 days with a private instructor. And that's what I did for like 4 days straight. All I did was mix. And then that's like my strong point now is mixing and blending and everything like that. Because I had to actually pick up the needle, put a piece of tape on where I want to start from my cue point, and then keep juggling the beats back and forth. And I was so frustrated. Oh my God. It was like, I don't want to say hard, but I guess it was kind of hard, with real records. It was kind of hard because you have to, it's just about timing, and these are real records. So it's no like pushing a button and it goes back, So you're actually taking the needle, putting it on the cue point, doing the other record, spinning it back, doing the same thing. And then when it probably took me about 4 hours straight. And when I finally got it, it was kind of over with then for me. I was like, oh my God, I got it. So,
then the light goes on.
Then it was just like everything became easy to me after that. So.
DJ Diamond's with us. You may have seen her at Timberwolves games. You're working the Wolves games, doing the music there. You do it for the Lynx. You've done Final Fours. I mean, you've done these incredible events already. But I have to ask you about the Super Bowl and getting invited and how that whole process happened and what was the experience like?
Well, it was crazy. So how I even got involved with it, it's the NFLPA, which is the National Football League Players Association. So they have the biggest or one of the biggest parties every Super Bowl. So it's industry players only, it's like their party, So when the Super Bowl was here in 2018, I got an email and it says, hey, we're having this party for the NFLPA and you became, recommended. Can you send us a demo? And I was like, still to this day, I don't know how they got my information, but I was like, okay. And they said, this is what we're looking for. It needs to be, very eclectic because we have older players, younger players, people that like rock, people that like R&B, people that, so I had to be very eclectic with it. So that's what I did. And they loved the mix and, they hired me. So when I got there, they said I did a great job. And then, the next year was in Atlanta and they said, well, we're going to have 2 DJs this year. And one of them was Big Tigger that used to host, what was it called? I can't remember. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it was a big rap show on BET. It was like Yo MTV Raps, but it was on BET. The Basement or something like that it was called. And so he's very big and well known. I was like, oh, okay, sure. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be going with him. How's this going to go? Being that he's kind of a celebrity, he is a celebrity.
Yeah, sure.
So, and we had a conference call. And we said, well, instead of going back and forth, let's do 30 minutes. You do 30 minutes, I do 30 minutes. And we became cool and that worked out. So I wasn't intimidated or anything. In fact, he actually, at the end, was giving me all the praise in front of everybody. This girl, DJ Diamond, so that was great. And then the next year, they hired me again in Miami, which was awesome. And I love that one. And then after that, we had a break because it was COVID. So I was hired for Los Angeles, but because of the COVID circumstances, we had to cancel that. And so now this was my first time back in Vegas, and it was awesome.
Oh, yeah. And great networking, I would think, once you get to something like that. She is DJ Dime. We've been talking here about the talent we have here in Minnesota with our young musicians that are coming up and replacing just this great and working with this great generation we've seen prior to them. And we are really in good hands, and she's an example of that. We'll talk more here in just a minute. I want to thank our friends over at Aquarius for making this show possible. And I know a lot of us get overwhelmed when we get this little to-do list going, and it grows and it grows, and our time is so valuable, and the schedule seems to shrink a lot. So if you're spending more time stressing over your household repairs than you're actually enjoying life, well, you're not alone, first of all, and Aquarius Home Services has your back. They are your trusted local, let us tackle your to-do list team. Aquarius Home Services, here to assist. Jeff and that staff over there are fabulous, whether it's a furnace, electrical work, plumbing that gives you trouble. Choose a service. They're going to fix that and take $98 off the repair cost. So $98 right there, and that's for any furnace, plumbing, or electrical repair. They're slashing $98 from the price. And I've had them out to do all those things through these last couple of decades. So watch your to-do list shrink while you reclaim your time. No more worrying about flickering lights, leaky toilets, noisy furnaces. They're dedicated pros. They respect your home and your time. Aquarius believes in earning the right to be recommended. And they're just a click away at AquariusHomeservices.com. DJ Dime is with us. She is very busy. Let me ask you this, though. One of the iconic places in this town, as you know, is First Avenue.
Yes.
And I don't know, I know you've played First Avenue. So when that happened for you, were you intimidated by this is First Avenue, or didn't that register?
No, of course it registered. But as a DJ, this was my first time really being there as a DJ. But like I said, I used to be a rapper, so I have had experienced there before. But just seeing all the going in the dressing room and seeing all the people's names on the walls and stuff, it's just like a whole inspiration type of thing, you know. But actually DJing there was wild, because to me it was just like being able to like control this crowd and you know, being like the soundtrack to everything that's getting ready to happen this night in this historic space was so dope to me. So yes, that was a great highlight. And then even them having my name on the poster on the outside, it was just like, oh my God,
wow.
like this is so awesome. So it's like, man, like, cause I grew up on, you know, Prince and the whole Purple Rain and all that. So actually to be there and to see your name and everything, like, it's just awesome.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Prince on this series, and you played Paisley Park, did you not?
Yes. Actually, I just got booked there again for July and possibly next month. So, yeah, now that was more surreal for me because I had been there before, of course, just as a, you know, more of a patron fan, you know, of someone else playing. But me actually playing in Paisley Park, are you serious? Like, this was so huge. Like, the first time, it was just like, wow. I mean, this is Prince's place, and it was an honor, you know, like just to be able to do it, and I loved it.
When was that the first time you DJ'd there?
The very first time I DJ'd there was, I want to say 2022.
Okay,
that was the first time. And then, like I said, they've booked me since then, but the first time it's just so surreal to be like, even though I've been there before, hung out before, even with Prince actually, you know, because I know people that know him and stuff. So I've actually hung out with him actually there before, but it's just like being who I am and being able to perform there. And then when I did perform, it was the first time it was for Paisley Park After Dark. And so you're playing all the Prince stuff and the Sheila E. and it was just so great. Mm-hmm. And then you had all these people coming from other countries. Like his fan base is so broad. Yeah. You know, I had people coming from California, even people from Europe. And I mean, they came for the Paisley Park event, but they heard I was DJing. So it was just so awesome just to see this. And it was packed. It was crazy. And I loved it.
And they're knowledgeable. They know. They come there with just like an encyclopedia. So tell us about hanging out with Prince.
Well, it's like we weren't like best friends or anything like that, but I do. I know some people like, you know, Jelly Bean Johnson and Popeye Greer and some of the people that are from the time. And at that time, that January. I think it was that January was his last concert there. Morris was there. Everybody was there. I forgot what it was for, but it was like he had an event there. And so I went with, you know, some of the people I knew and everything. And he was just sitting there. And when we were talking like, hey, how you doing? You know, how's everything? Hey, you know, so it's like a small talk, but still, you know, in his presence, you know, which is great. And the last time I actually, the last time I actually saw him, was at that concert, but it was in the same dressing room that I had when I performed. And it was so crazy. It was like, man, the last time I was here, you know, I had seen Prince in here. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's what great memories. And Davide, we've been in contact with Jelly Bean, and we're trying to get him on the show.
Yes, we are still trying to get him home. Yeah.
I'll give him a call.
Put the squeeze on him. That's for sure.
Okay.
But what about the performing part of it? Because you know you were known as protege. Mm-hmm. I mean, and you're a performer too, not just a DJ. So what would you rather be doing? Or just keep doing them?
But for me, I love DJing. You know, because I feel like I set the tone for the people in my crowd. So let's say somebody's having a bad day and they want to get out. Like I feel like kind of like a comic, you know, like you're in control of making someone have a good time. You know what I mean? Like when you're performing, it is the same, but you know, I just feel like DJing, I kind of have more control because if I'm rapping, I'm only doing my material. And what if they don't like this, you know, or something like that, where I feel as a DJ, I could change the tone at any time. You know what I mean? I could change the whole mood at any time. Like, let's say someone is, there with for an anniversary, I could play a song that just brings back, oh man, like how much in love I am with this person, or so I feel like as a DJ you're kind of more you have more control of the crowd and what's going on, but I will say I do have an advantage from being a performer because I read my crowd very well, and so I feel like I attribute that to being a performer, because not that's a gift, that's a talent to me, to be able to read the crowd and to know this isn't working, switch it up, or stuff like that. And some people don't have that. They just come in with a set list. This is what I'm going to do, and I don't care if they don't like it. And no, that's not what you're there for. You have to understand that DJing is a customer service business. You know what I mean? First, and so I need to please my customer, and I think that's one of my big pluses.
Can I ask you a very technical question about DJing and all that? Have you ever done remixes? Like, have you ever gotten like stems from like people and say, "Hey, can you remix my song?" Like
okay.
DJ style, though.
Okay, so here's the thing: Serato just came out with this cool thing. That's a DJ software.
Yeah.
It just came out with this cool thing called stems. So the latest DJ boards that Jazz88 actually got for the DJ program actually control the stems.
Okay.
So basically any song that I play, I have stems to those songs.
So wait, we're getting very technical here, Dave. I hope you don't mind. But this is very intriguing to me. So you're saying you load up a stereo file, right? And the software will analyze what is, let's say, drums, percussion, and then it separates it like low end and synths and stuff like that.
Yep. So the breakdown is vocal, melody, drums, and bass.
Okay, so then you can start to do your own remixes.
Yeah, on the
that.
fly. Yeah, so I actually demonstrated with the new equipment I got. I did demonstrate. I have some Facebook reels where I demonstrated this, and they kind of went almost viral, like from what I was doing with it. But it's instant. No.
Wow. Now I know why nobody's hiring me to extract stems for my clients.
Yeah, if you have this software, you can do it on your own now, like with any track, and it does it instantly.
Wow.
Like instantly now. But have I had an artist ask me to do it? Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
But I'm more of I am into production, but I'm more into DJing. So for me, it would be on the fly. I kind of do it like when I'm out in the club. I did some at the Superbowl too, because they was like, "I've never heard this mix before." I said, "Because I'm doing it live. It's the first time you ever." You know what I mean? Like I did this mix, so I might take "Drop It Like It's Hot" by Snoop Dogg and mix it with a Jay-Z song, but I'm doing that on the fly. You know. So they're like, "Well, that's cool how you're doing that," but yeah, everything just. I mean, it's just crazy. And then they even have it where it echoes out. So if I'm just doing an acapella, I'll hit a button and it will just echo out the acapella.
It puts a reverb in it. And
everything. Yeah. So
wow.
It's kind of this all technology now. So it's like, it's cool though.
DJ Dime is with us, and intriguing story too on how she got her last name. We'll ask her about that. We'll ask her about New York Fashion Week. Ask her about her modeling career. I mean, I don't know how she makes a choice. She's got a lot of options out there, and we're thrilled to have her here today. Hey, by the way, thanks Star Bank for making this possible. It's a Minnesota bank, 10 locations around the state, including right here in the metro. They started out as a family bank, and guess what? The same family still has the bank, all of those banks, and they are so good. And that happens because, DJ's just talking about her, just reading the crowd. And Star Bank has done that for many years as well. They know who you are. They love it when you come in. They'll get to know you. Pretty good chance you'll know them by the time you walk out of there. The other part of this that makes it that same kind of thing about reading the crowd is that when they answer the phone at their banks, somebody actually answers the phone. And you're talking to someone, so they're not sending you to line 1, line 2, line 3, or they've got it figured out, and that's why they're successful. If you're looking for a loan, whatever it is, Star Bank is family-owned, Minnesota-based. No hold times when you call. They'll answer. That's how banking should be. I will tell you this, though. We all like to do the banking on our phones when you get a chance, or computers, and do it digitally. And they can do all of that, of course, as well. I just love the idea, though, that you can go in like a small town where you know people, call your local Star Bank branch today, and stop in maybe would be even more fun at your convenience. And they are so supportive of their communities they're in as well. So loans are subject to a loan application and approval. Starbank.net. They're very, very good. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. And by the way, they are our bank here at TalkNorth.com. DJ Dime is with us. You can listen to these on Spotify, Apple, TalkNorth.com, wherever you get your podcast, and subscribe. And really great shows. We focus on Minnesota musicians here this past year, and Dave and Davide with you. And DJ, let's talk about Fashion Week. Holy smokes. I mean, I don't know what you haven't done, but now the Fashion Week, plus you model. So can we get a little insight into that whole scene?
Well, modeling was kind of an accident for me. It was like, it wasn't a passion. It was just like something that happened, and it just seemed to work out for me. And then, like I said, I take anything that I do seriously. So even though it was an accident for me, I started to take modeling classes or runway classes. Like, hey, if this is what, is going to work, then I'm going to take it serious. So I am signed with a couple agencies here. I just did a Cadillac commercial, was probably my recent, in October. I've done a few Best Buy stuff, national stuff and things like that. But as far as, Fashion Week, I did do, I DJ'd, I want to say that was 2022, 21 for New York Fashion Week as well.
Wow.
Just providing the background music for when they walk down, or, when people come in and sit and stuff. But it was a great experience to see, so.
Oh, gosh, yeah, no kidding. What just a credit to you and all the things that you got cooking there. Fleet DJs. Let's talk about that. Well,
Fleet DJs is like the second, at the time I signed up, it was the second largest DJ crew in the world. So what it is it's based out of North Carolina. And so it's just like a whole bunch of DJs together around the world, and we just, connect with each other. We have conferences and everything. And for example, like one time I had a event in Dallas, and the board that I asked them to have for me was totally not the board that I wanted, and I didn't know how to use this one. It was like, it wasn't even like a Pioneer. It was something different. And so, like, just on the fly, someone I don't even know, I could just call up, hey, I need, this such and such board. Oh, I got it. I'll come and meet you, just being part of this, collective of DJs. So yeah, Fleet DJs, I've been with them for a while. And just how I got with them is kind of crazy, because you have to be, not established, but you have to be some type of, you have to be kind of good in order to get into, that's just not a,
sure.
So the CEO actually, contacted me because I was posting, when I first started posting my mixes on Twitter. And he was like, I've been following you, and I was like, oh, okay, that's okay, great. And he's like, would you like to be in Fleet DJs? And I was just like, what? So I was like, yeah, are you crazy? Yeah. So then they gave me my own radio show. It was called, I actually was doing some house music, Chicago house and stuff on their radio platform when I first started.
The name, Dime, is interesting. DJ Dime. Can you tell the listeners about that?
Yeah, it's an acronym, and it means doing it myself every day. So the it is whatever I put my mind to, whatever I want to do. So that's how I came up with the name.
So let's talk about the Timberwolves gig, though. And that's got to be a little bit electric and exciting, especially this season.
Oh, my God, it is. This is just like the best season ever. Like, I actually got into it. Our DJ crew here is called Generation Now. And so Mad Mardigan is the main DJ, like you see on most of the time, 90% of the time in arena. So we're all over. So we're like upper deck. We're in the Lexus Lounge. We're in, we do some of the pre-parties. So we have the contract for the whole Timberwolves and the Lynx. So wherever we're, they placed me. I think I'm on the 28th in the Lexus Lounge. Women's History Month, Black History Month, certain things I'll probably be in the main, sometimes in the main arena. The links, I'm in the main arena more often. There's a couple female DJs. There's 3 of us, I think, in the crew, 3 or 4. So we try to rotate the females more often in the WNBA. But I do the warm-ups a lot for the players and coaches, and wherever they need me to do, I do. But we rotate. So I would say I'm probably there maybe once a month, depending on my schedule too. So.
Yeah, you're busy. Here's the question, though. How the Timberwolves are one of the best teams right now in the National Basketball Association. And for those of us long-suffering Wolves fans or Minnesota sports fans, we don't tend to see this a lot. And hopefully they'll be able to finish it off this year with a championship. How many of your friends or acquaintances are saying, "Hey, any chance you could get me tickets to one of those games?"
Every day, every day. And it's like in the past, because I think I've been with Jen now almost 2.5, 3 years. But in the past, it was easy to get,
Now,
because
yeah.
now you can't get anything. They're like sold out every night. Like, I was just like, oh my God, no, there's just no way I could get it. So I'm sorry, I can't get them.
Yeah. So let me ask you this before we go. I want to make sure I get this question, because you're going to maybe have to think about this for a second. Let's say you're putting together a show of people that you like, alive or not. So you're going to be the booker of this concert of 3 acts. And I would really be curious to know, because as you talked about the diversity in music that you, depending upon whoever you're playing for, some like the older stuff, some of the new, whether hip hop, jazz, R&B, whatever it might be, you kind of have to figure that out. Now, I'm just curious, okay, DJ Dime, you're setting up a concert. You've got 3 different acts. I guarantee you when we're done with this, you'll probably drive home going, I should have said this or that. Yeah. But as of right now, who would you put on the stage?
To be honest, as far as entertainment, because I'm a big entertainer fan, not so much. I love music, but I want to be entertained. You know what I mean? When I go.
Yeah.
So for me, James Brown, Michael Jackson,
cool,
and Prince.
Yeah, there's a lot of entertainment right there.
Yeah, and I mean
that'd be a heck of a high price ticket.
Yeah, you see, I didn't mention any hip hop or anything, but I do like hip hop. But if you're gonna say as far as who do I want to entertain me, what I mean, it would be those. And then there's a lot of others too, but you're only giving me 3, because I would definitely put Janet on there, but
right,
and other people. But yeah, those would be my 3 that I can sit down and watch YouTube videos of them all day. Now,
oh yeah,
so
James Brown was like an inspiration for all the others you mentioned. Michael Jackson and especially Prince.
Yeah.
We learned that, right, Dave, through Eric Leeds.
Yeah, so Eric Leeds was with us, who played with Prince, and then he and James Brown were buddies. And right when he says, James he was like James or Eric's mentor.
Oh yeah,
I know his brother was brother was his manager, wasn't he?
Yep. Yeah.
So that'd be a great show. So DJ, if people want to reach out and just find out more about you, or just want to follow you on social media, where should we go?
My Instagram is at @PRO_DJ Dime. So @PRO_DJ Dime. And Facebook, just DJ Dime. You'll find me there. And those are pretty much the 2 places I'm at on regularly.
How you spell dime?
Yeah.
Just DIME.
Oh, okay.
Just DIME. There's no periods in my name. There is periods, but on social media there's none. So it's just @PRO_DJ DIME.
Awesome.
I'll help you out, Davide, because I already follow her.
No.
So I can
hold on. I asked for a reason, Dave. How do you spell flight time?
Well, I know that because
There you go.
I had friends that worked there.
And
yeah.
they produced Janet Jackson.
And,
just to close the circle here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, and a lot of those were night sessions. Remember that? She liked to record at night. They'd go overnight. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd be in town. In fact, where I worked, she would stay next door, and I was there every day, and I never saw her. I mean, she spent a lot of time in that studio. You talk about working at your craft. My understanding from the folks that were over there that she was a good worker. I mean, she, like you, she just kind of wanted to. You just don't want to show up, right?
Yeah, I hear great things about Janet. So, that's good though. And that's the other thing real quick, like being from that era, growing up in that era and just knowing that these hits and everything is made down the street from you. That's just such an inspiration, so it's cool.
DJ, it's great having you in. I know you're busy. Obviously, you've got a million things going on. So thanks for taking the time to join us here. It's just been a delightful talking with you, and I know we'll see you soon. I don't know if you'll see us, but we'll see you perhaps from the audience.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Oh, you kidding me? Thank you for coming in, and congrats on everything and everything that's yet to come, too, I'm sure. She is DJ Dime, as we mentioned. Reach out socially and get on those social networks and find out more about her. A lot of you already know a lot about her. Again, one of the great generation of musicians, and we talk about the music in Minneapolis, the Minneapolis sound, and it's great to know it's just continuing with an awful lot of talent out there. I want to thank our friends at starbank.net and AquariusHomeservices.com studios here for letting us make this show possible for you on my first concert. I want to thank you, Davide, again, obviously, for putting everything together.
Always,
your
you're
patience
welcome.
with someone like myself. And we're going to see you again next week. And we've got a lot of great shows. In fact, when DJ talked about Michael Jackson, one of the previous shows that you'll find is a friend of ours who was a security guard who talks about the time that his job was to go out before the Michael Jackson concert started at the Met Center, as I recall. And then he had to go out to the limo with a cable box. And then this performer wanted to get in the cable box and come in so no one knew he was there and sit at the soundboard with this guy. And that was Prince.
Yeah.
And this is so we have some great stories in the past on these podcasts that we really enjoy. And again, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, download them. I know I'm running out of time, Davide, so I'll be quiet now. And again, our thanks to DJ Dime for joining us. And we'll see you all here again next week on My First Concert.